Digital business transformation is nothing but business transformation in the context of a world that is increasingly digital. The world would be so much richer if businesses and brands that have existed for decades or hundreds of years are able to come into this new ecosystem and world and really create and sustain competitive advantage in a way that allows them to thrive, not just survive.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Brave Pursuit. Today we have Nigel Vaz, who is CEO of Publicis Sapient and also a recent author. He wrote the book, Digital Business Transformation, Sustaining Competitive Advantage from Now to Next. Nigel, welcome.
Thank you, Lucy. Great to be here.
One of the interesting things about this book is you actually started the process of writing the book and thinking about it before everything happened with the COVID pandemic. You were in the middle of it when the pandemic hit and obviously had, a significant impact on so many people around the world and businesses. Why did you want to write this book? And then why did you choose to prioritize it during such a challenging time?
When I think about the process of how we got to writing the book, I've been with Sapient for more than 20 years and about 2 years as CEO. And in that journey, I've observed the fact that digital was critical to so many of our clients evolving their business and continuing to transform it. But what was really incredible is over the last few years, that had gone from being tangential, so something that was an important priority but not core, to effectively becoming existential. And the COVID pandemic just put a very fine point on it. I don't know if you saw this meme that was floating around the internet, right? But it was joking about the fact that COVID-19 had done more for digital business transformation or digital transformation in general than most CEOs or CIOs or CMOs, because it explained in very practical terms to every single person that in a world where you can only, for the most part, interact digitally safely, how critical this was. So when I started the book, the drive to complete the book was all about making sure we created an asset or a tool for our clients and the world more broadly to recognize how critical digital was to transforming business.
It's not a book about technology. You frame it as a book about sustaining competitive advantage. Can you talk a little bit about why a book on digital business transformation is actually not just a technology book?
I think that's a really important distinction. Most people equate the word digital to technology. And my belief and our belief in all of the work that we do across the world for our clients is the fact that digital is simply a way of doing business, a way of engaging with your customers, a way of selling to them, a way of serving to them. And when you think about it in that context, you have to make a choice as a company in this new world, which operates physically and digitally in a completely seamless way. Are you going to make a choice to defend the status quo, defend what you've been doing for all these years, and essentially protect that? Or are you going to try to differentiate, leveraging the technologies of today to evolve your business? Or are you fundamentally going to disrupt the category? When you think about most digital businesses, most people think about Amazon and they think about Google and Airbnb that have disrupted industries like travel and hospitality, that have disrupted industries like transportation with Uber. Those companies are in essence not just about the technology. They're also redefining new business models in the way in which consumers engage with a business.
How are you seeing businesses react to this? And are the asks in terms of what companies need to navigate this challenging time, are they changing, and if so, how?
What's becoming increasingly obvious to most of our clients and the world at large is digital is the thing they have to leverage to power so many of the gains that they want in these areas. We have this idea of the capabilities that you inherently need to be digital in this very neat acronym called SPEED. And what SPEED stands for is a real focus on strategy and consultative capability to understand your business objectives and your business priorities and be laser focused on unlocking the value pools you want to unlock in the context of digital. P stands for product. And product is this idea of shifting your mindset from doing projects, which have a beginning and an end, to this mindset of building a digital product, which is something that you constantly evolve over a period of time. The next letter in the acronym of SPEED is E, and that stands for experience. You are able to create an experience that is compelling enough for your customers and to get your story out. But it's also critical because it is now recognizably part of the product. So if you're an airline selling a seat, how important is the experience around the process of buying a seat? How experience is helping people navigate through the airport? How important is the experience of being able to track their bags or to pick the in-flight entertainment? Experience for me is the great differentiator, but also the great leveler. Engineering is the second E in SPEED. And engineering is recognition that everything that I've just talked about is only made possible through technology. So technology is not only this idea of historical enterprise accounting, which used to be about cost and about risk. It's about strategic differentiation and about value creation. And finally, D, understanding the data that you have, data about your customers, data about your products, data about how your business interacts with other businesses, your partners, data about the entire ecosystem. How do you have this data in a way that allows you to react to things happening on a real-time basis?
How do they use the SPEED capabilities in the context of that world of constant and exponential change?
These are not capabilities that you can simply build and use in isolation. All of these things have to work very, very closely together. If you have an unbelievable focus and experience, but no discipline about the engineering of that, your experiences are never going to be world leading. If you have a clear focus on engineering and experience, but you don't have this idea of a continuous beta or continuous improvement instilled in this mindset around product, again, you have challenges. And every one of these things ultimately has to be tied to the central goal of unlocking value and being clear on what value you're trying to unlock.
It's interesting what you're talking about in terms of what companies are faced with right now is this completely different context shift, as well as this need to create value in ways that they never have before. And these are companies that have created and sustained value for decades, some for over a century. As you think about that journey that companies and that clients enter into, what makes it so hard?
So many executives who are in decision-making roles at the boardroom are doing this on the basis of a lot of their experiences, many of which may not necessarily be the experiences that catapult them to the next phase of growth. How do you create a culture that's focused on learning, unlearning, and relearning? These are shifts that are very easy to talk about, even perhaps in a book, but much harder to change in the context of an organization that has been around for many decades or many years. And this is, for me, one of the biggest reasons why digital business transformation is not just about consumer behavior. It's not just about new business models. How do you see what the data is telling you and shift and course correct? How do you make decision-making distributed? Where does sales begin and where does service end? So more and more companies are being forced to reimagine themselves in the context of the journeys these customers have through their organizations.